Hello and welcome back to the Youth Suite. I'm your host, Ibrahim Rahman. Joining me today is Nusaiba Mohammad Timol from London, who is the founder and director of the WOW Creative Arts School. Wow is all I can say to that. Sorry, that was awful, wasn't it? I can just feel everyone right now cringing. Like, Ibrahim, why did you say that? Just don't do that again. And I can't imagine how Nusaiba is feeling right now. Let's move on, shall we? Let's forget that even happened. Nusaiba, great to have you here with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on here. Really excited about our chat today.
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to learning more about yourself and the school, which we will come on to in just a moment. But first of all, I want to find out about how you ended up pursuing a career in the creative arts. So when did that interest and that passion begin? You know, how did it all start for you, Nusaiba?
I've always been a very creative individual from when I was really young. When it came to like something like Eid or any occasion, I never wanted to just go out there and purchase like an outfit. I would always, get the most craziest things and put things together and want to do something different. I was always really passionate about putting things together that represented like my personality and who I am. But simultaneously, I wouldn't say I'm like your typical creative person. So like not into just like arts and the creative world. I was very much into how to like bring in creativity in things like Quranic recitation or anything I did. I knew that I wanted to bring a positive change, into our society and community, but I wasn't sure what it was that I wanted to do exactly. Any South Asian, when any South Asian parents, when you want to pursue your career in something in fashion or any creative field, they're always a bit nervous because it's not the common thing to do. So when I was doing my GCSE, I did take arts for GCSE. I was really good, but it made an absolute mess in my room and around the house. And my mum was just like, I don't think it's wise for you to do it for your A-level. So I didn't go ahead with it. But I feel like everything in life, there's a timeline for everything in life. And only now it all makes sense for me and why God kind of placed everything in the way he did in my life.
Very interesting to hear, Nusaiba, how you decided not to study arts beyond GCSE level. But if we fast forward a little bit, I understand you have a degree in fashion, textiles and design at the University for the Creative Arts. So although you didn't study art at A-level, as you just mentioned there, it does seem like to me that passion for the creative subjects was clearly still there, wasn't it?
I think you'll be shocked that initially I actually got into studying dentistry.
Oh, wow. What a change.
I know, what a change. I know everyone is always shocked when they hear about this. So, for A-levels, I chose, my sciences and maths, and I would say I kind of wanted to pursue having like a career in dentistry. Before I went into uni, I had the opportunity to go abroad to France and study Arabic language, Quranic studies.
Right.
And whilst I was in France, I recognized that I was constantly drawing things and putting things together for my friends. I put together a portfolio in the time that I was just bored, if you want to say. After like a year and a half in France, I realized I don't know if I really want to go back to UK and study dentistry. I wasn't really passionate about dentistry, but I just did it because it was just the best thing out of like medicine and other things for me. So yeah, I had a conversation with my parents before I came back from France, and I was like super nervous and you can imagine I was like while staying in France, I kind of realized that I don't want to study dentistry. I want to do
And how did they react to that?
Initially, obviously they were a bit shocked, but I think because I had that break and I went to France, they kind of understood that I was doing something different and my life was taking a different path, and I wasn't going to just come out of uni and do like I didn't have a traditional lifestyle, and I was always like that from when I was young. So I think they kind of took it like it was normal, which I was shocked about because I was really scared to tell them in the first place. And yeah, they just embraced it immediately, which was interesting and very nice for me. And my mom actually helped me, figure out the next stages for joining to study design and fashion in university, because you of course have to have some sort of background, and the only thing I had done was my GCSE art, right? And it wasn't good enough. So she helped me kind of figure out what path I needed to take in order for me to go to the University for the Creative Arts.
Mm.
So I was applying for different universities, and I took my portfolio that I created in France, with no idea how much more challenging it would be. And when I walked in, everyone had these massive portfolios and bags and bags of things to show for the interview, and I just had this one book, A3 book, thinking, I know exactly what to do. I somehow, honestly, I feel like this is a blessing. I was accepted. I chose to go to University for the Creative Arts because it was away from London, and I felt like I needed to just get my head, just concentrate on my studies and just get on with what I needed to do. And in London, I was um, distracted with events and things like that. So yeah, I made that choice, and I ended up at University for the Creative Arts. Whilst I was at uni, at that time, I was lucky enough to actually be simultaneously working and, working in a modest fashion. And that gave me lots of opportunity to fly abroad and, do so many things. So yeah, that's a bit about my journey.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. It does seem like you've experienced quite a lot during your years in education. But let's move on to modest fashion, which you just spoke about a moment ago. I want to hear about some of the experiences you've had in this industry. What would you say have been some of your personal highlights working in this field?
I got the opportunity to work in various places, and make a contribution within the modest fashion industry from very early on, before it was a big thing. I mean, modest fashion has always existed, but the conversation for it and on it wasn't really happening. Nobody was really talking about modest fashion in the mainstream, and I had the opportunity to firstly be part of it through Evening Standard newspaper. Actually, I think what made Evening Standard want to do an article with me was the fact that I had those both simultaneously going around. So I wasn't just taking pictures and putting things, focusing on style, and blogging about it. It was really my lifestyle. And then at the same time, I was really into the Islamic side and doing Quran and so on. And I had genuine people following me from a young age, and that's what stood out. And so they did a piece on coolest hipsters, but religious ones. So I became the Muslim hipster. So it's called Mipster. It was like a new term back then. And so they had a piece on how faith plays a role in fashion and how you dress and so on. So they chose me as the cool Muslim hipster. Yeah, faith has always played a huge role in my fashion, or the even my prints, or the textiles work I do, and it's really inspired me, and it's something that I carry with me always. I got a chance to do a shorts with Channel 4. Channel 4 do these short documentaries, and it was I felt like such a celebrity, honestly, because they just filmed me the whole day. And interestingly, I actually got lucky to have a shoot with Disorder magazine. So Disorder magazine, I don't know if you know, is like a really cool UK magazine. They're very raw, and even the front page of Disorder is always very realistic, very fun, very edgy. And so Disorder also picked me up, and they wanted to do a shoot on modest fashion and me. And at the same time, I was filming with Channel 4, so it made it even better, because it makes you look cooler having a photo shoot and everyone's filming. So it worked out good for me, and the film was really good. We had a premiere for it, and this all happened between 2014 2015. And at that time, the conversation about modest fashion was still not happening. Quickly from that, it just, like I said, it would just happen from one thing after the other. And I ended up in Malaysia in 2015. They flew me out to judge a Guinness Book World Record a fashion show. It was one of the longest fashion shows. And so they wanted me to join them and be part of that fashion show. People always ask, like, how come you were able to do all of this? God's blessed me with this confidence. Like, I don't feel like I need to change myself to fit in. I went there really for the shoot and to have like this, what do you call it, meet and greet at the Avenue K shopping mall. It's a huge shopping mall just opposite like the Twin Towers in Malaysia. And that was pretty huge for me. And again, in Malaysia, I went there for one thing and it just became something else. And I got to have my first cover shoot with one of Malaysia's like biggest modest fashion magazine called Hijab Fashion Magazine, and it was like an 8-page spread.
Wow.
I know I need to put it on frame, the magazine. I have it. It's an amazing memory. And from that, I got to do a shoot with Nona magazine as well, which is another massive magazine in Malaysia. And I ended up staying there longer than I prepared for. And from Malaysia, then the word got round, and then I went to Indonesia, and it's all unexpected. And honestly, I don't even know myself, like what it was that kind of drew them towards me and wanting me to kind of be the person that they would choose to do all of this. Like I said, despite there being other like bloggers and stuff who had YouTube and who had Instagram from a while back, and I
Sure.
was quite new to like Instagram then, and I was quite new to this, taking pictures and things like that. But I was picked up quite quickly.
Well, I've got to say, Nusaiba, that's a very impressive list of things you've done there. Really amazing to hear the experiences you've had working in modest fashion. Now, let's explore the WOW Creative Arts School and what is taught at the school. My understanding is that your work in the creative arts and what you've done in modest fashion, these experiences, what you've learned along the way, that all led to launching this school. Did you see this as an opportunity to perhaps potentially share those experiences with the youth and with the community?
That's exactly why I created WOW Creative Arts. We're teaching Quranic stories and Islamic history through creative means like drama, singing, and arts. And there are performing arts schools, but they don't kind of teach you values. It's just, you're singing or dancing. And I felt like we've really needed to create an environment where it's a safe space, and kids can come from all backgrounds. It doesn't have to be, it's not just open for Muslims, but they learn the core values of the Quranic stories and Islamic studies. So so this is a little bit about what WOW is and how the birth of WOW.
There's been severe disruption to how schools have been running in the pandemic. How has your school been operating in these current circumstances?
WOW Creative Arts, I launched it in end of September 2019. So it was very new. We only got the chance to operate physically for around 6 months. Within 6 months, we opened 2 locations. It was going really well, and we had a performance in April that was going to be the first of its kind performance in Kensington Olympia. And we had everything ready for April. And as you know, that's when things started changing, and we had to temporarily close the school and take everything online. So it had an impact on our students, but also the community, because being the world's first Islamic creative arts school, we hold great responsibility to keep the community engaged in creative activities, the Islamic education. I quickly realized that I need to operate a lot faster and take this online, although I honestly didn't think of it at that time because we've just opened. It's quite fresh, 6 months. So I thought of the idea of doing a WOW Creative Festival to kind of just bring happiness to the community and just talk about things that really relate with everyone and kind of give everyone a bit of encouragement and bring faith back into everyone's life. Because, at that time, lots of online things were happening, such as, like DJing and cooking things and exercise, but there was nothing happening in terms of like this, like an Islamic creative festival. And I felt like we needed to do another festival, but this time focusing on our well-being. So we did a WOW Wellbeing Festival for the month of December with free workshops for everyone, not just our students, but everyone. And we created songs together with everyone in the community that focuses on well-being. And like in a song, you have, every song has like in the beginning you have this where something is sad or something happens, and then throughout the song you're trying to figure it out, and at the end is where the the positive outcome. So we kind of took that and taught everyone how to write a song. We did songwriting with our amazing teacher Lamia. We did art and drama again, but focusing on well-being. So that was really, really amazing. So at the end of December, we did stop, and I actually had planned to, for everything to start back in January, but unfortunately we're in another lockdown. So I've just kept it on hold, and replanning for when we start physically. And also we're planning for a lot more online sessions, and we've had people from all around the world, from South Africa to Nigeria, from Malaysia, staying up late at night as well, from Bangladesh, from everywhere. And we've had people ranging from the age of 5 to 65. It's just given me, I'm just reflecting now that we need to do more. I'm constantly processing all of this and trying to give back to the community what they want and what they need, most importantly. And so there's lots of things happening for 2021. Firstly being that we go back physically, but also a lot of collaborations and a lot of things for the community and many things to launch. So I'm not going to go into it too much, but there's so many exciting things happening for this year.
That's absolutely brilliant, Nusaiba. I think it's great to hear what's been happening with the school and what you've managed to achieve in quite a short space of time. And doing all of this during a global pandemic as well. I mean, we certainly can't ignore that. I think that's really amazing. And I'm sure every one of us, everyone listening in, is really looking forward to what comes next for you in the future. And now we move on to my topic. This is the part of the show where each guest has the opportunity to bring up a topic of their choice. Nusaiba, tell us about your chosen topic.
My chosen topic is the role of faith-based creative arts in our future.
That's a very interesting topic you brought forward there. It sounds like an essay question, but I'm sure we can have a very good discussion on this. So first, let's look at the bigger picture. Now, how would you describe the faith-based creative arts scene at the moment? And perhaps what you can do is maybe compare it to how it was, like, let's say 10 years ago, and compare that to how it is right now. Could you talk us through that?
Faith-based creative arts is still pretty much non-existent. If we focus on the creative arts first, I feel like, yes, we have a lot of art, and people tend to forget that creative arts kind of includes not just art as in painting and drawing, but also includes drama and singing and so many other things. I feel like in our communities, in our society, we still look at creative arts as like an extracurricular. Why I say extra is because you have your school, you have your tuition, you have like your swimming and physical activities, and then people think creative arts has its place. But what people tend to forget is that creative arts is what helps you with all of those things. And creative arts isn't for those who want to go into studying or into a career of arts, but into a creative career, but for everyone to develop your skills, to grow in confidence, to help you with so many things. Right. So I feel like we're still struggling at the moment to kind of, show the importance of creative arts. And it's just not in our communities. I think in a lot of communities, but you see like performing arts schools that exist and has existed, which aren't faith-based, but just performing arts, they tend to have like 9 times out of 10 majority people from a white English background, and only a small percentage of Asian, Black, minority background. So I feel like in our communities we're still not giving creative arts an importance, and faith-based is like very new. Like, so that's why we say that we're the first Islamic creative arts school. Because not many creative arts schools are talking about faith, are including faith and exploring, values from faith, and, through mediums like art, drama, and singing. So, I mean, there's a lot to do and a lot of work. There's a long way to go before, it becomes like a norm, and it becomes something that everyone accepts and realizes it is required. But we are on that journey, and like I said, so far it's been positive, and a lot of people have said that I wish I had that when I was younger. I wish I could learn faith through mediums like this, because then I would remember more things. A lot of people have come to us and expressed those things. So I feel like we're in a positive journey, but it will take a lot of work.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that's very interesting there. I came across an online article that I'd also like to bring forward to this discussion. It was an opinion piece from The Independent around 2015, so it's a few years old, that appears to highlight that the arts are being neglected, but it was a piece that I should say that was defending the creativity and the arts. But let's explore this briefly, as I'm quite keen to hear your thoughts on this and some of the points raised in that, and if you could also think of anything that may have changed since then. But there was a small section here that I can read out to you here. It says, more noticeably than ever, creative subjects are being labelled as soft university subjects, a waste of time to study, and degrees that will almost not lead to employment after graduation. So, what is your response to that? Because it feels like there's like an underappreciation towards people who possess creative talents, who want to pursue creative subjects in higher education. So, what do you say to that?
I agree that it is still looked at as soft skills, but I don't agree that that is what it should be called. Because, like I said, the fact that the word or the term soft is used, it just doesn't give it that much value and what it can provide, the skills that it can provide, and I feel like it kind of excludes creativity and creative subjects and what it can do for a person. And it's the I look at creative arts as a means for a really important part of our life, especially in this day and age, because we're if you look at our generation now, we're focused so much on tech or social media and so on, and when you're looking for jobs, they still require and want people who are confident, believe in their ideas, are creative and constantly progressive and thinking of things outside the box. So we're in it's not a balanced kind of environment that we're in. The kids or the generation that we're in now, where we don't even know how to communicate to another person. Kids nowadays are growing to just be with their phone 24/7 and only have communication through text or so on. They are only going to be able to really flourish in life and be able to achieve what they want to achieve and get jobs get jobs really by having those creative arts and studying creative arts, because that's where they will be able to explore who they are, explore their personality and express themselves and be able to stand up in front of a few people or many people and perform. And slowly it will make them grow in confidence, and slowly it will instill those emotional intelligence and social intelligence and mindsets and attitudes and values and so many things that creative arts brings to the table. So I think it's a really, really important area. And like I said, there's a lot of work to do, but people need to understand that putting creative arts in the soft skills category isn't. I mean, using the word soft isn't right. It's a lot more important than that.
What challenges have you particularly faced in your journey through the creative arts? I know you may have touched upon some of them earlier, but what would you say have been some of the more difficult moments that you've been through in your career?
I think early on is just like I said, when I chose to go into the path of creative arts and fashion, textiles, and design, people just thought, what on earth, she's not going to do anything with her life, and you're not going to get a job and so on. And I feel like I've proved everyone wrong now. And the thing is, I strongly believe that if you what you are passionate about, what you love, and what you're good at, if you go down that route, you will come out stronger and you will do something that is just fabulous and the world needs. If you kind of take that away from somebody, they will not be able to kind of fully become and contribute to the world that in the way that they could. So yeah, I mean, the first challenge was that, people saying things, but I mean, I ignored it because I knew what I was doing and my family supported it, and I had that motivation to kind of make positive changes. But not everybody has that support from family, and I know, and I know that not everyone has that complete strength and perseverance. We will prove people wrong, and it does demotivate a lot of people. That is one of the challenges, just people talking. And to those people who are listening and want to just go ahead and you're confident in yourself, just do it. Block what everyone is saying, because at the end of the day, when you're doing something and you're working hard, when you're in your lows or you're, trying to pass all the hurdles, nobody is there to support you and nobody cares. But then the minute you,
The minute you do well, and everyone all jumps on the bandwagon, they all want to join your success.
So don't let what anyone say get to you, or take you away from what you are really passionate about. And you are needed. Being different and being different brings something to the world, and keep doing you and just block everything out. That's really my advice. Any other challenges? I'd say that, just exactly what I've spoken about, that I think we're just starting the conversation about creative arts, and especially faith-based. WOW is bringing that, and I feel like there's a long way to go. It has been positive so far, but it doesn't mean that, it has been, smooth sailing. I feel like a lot of WOW being successful has to do with like my career and, people having that trust in me. And I'm so thankful for that, and I'm really grateful for everyone in the beginning for trusting my vision with WOW and my vision in faith-based creative arts. And if they hadn't trusted that, would we be here today? I don't know, so I think it's a lot to do with that. But yeah, we have a long way to go.
How can we engage more young people, more of the youth in the creative arts? What sort of suggestions do you have?
At WOW, we're trying to, like I said, this year, we're trying to do a lot more collaborative work. I think there's so many industries that require faith-based creative arts. And when I say that, I mean, so for instance, without giving too much away, we've been approached by a football association to come up with something to give knowledge to everyone in football and the football clubs about what really Islam is, what is Ramadan about, and so many things, right? Because despite Islam being such a big religion, there's so much negativity that surrounds it because of the media and because of what the conversations people have on it. And it's really important that we show the truth about Islam, we show the truth and positive side. And really the focus is extracting the values, and it's not just for Muslims, like I said, it's cross-faith values from Quranic stories and Islamic history. And at WOW, we've been pushing the cross-faith values, and I think this is really resonating with a lot of people. And so I feel like the future for WOW and to get kids engaged is to take part in campaigns like this, and become the space where kids get to explore who they are and grow in confidence and meet people. Especially, this is something that I think that's attracted a lot of youth to the school, is meeting people that they wouldn't get a chance to meet in any other circumstances. I'm so blessed to have an amazing network of friends who are in the industries, be it in acting or singing or arts and media. So I have been bringing in guests to the school and introducing kids to these people. And I feel like going forward, I really want to bring down more of my friends who are doing, like film for Netflix or a series. We did have that lined up, and the kids will get to really ask questions about these industries and know from them firsthand what it's like, because in school they don't learn these things, right? They aren't exposed to what it is like. They just think, oh, it's all fun and this is what it's going to be like, and then they put themselves into those situations and then they hate it or they love it. And it's like, I feel like we need to have those conversations and give them firsthand experience of what each industry is like, especially the creative industry. So I think that's what's going to attract more people to join. There's so much to do and so much going on. And this is an invitation for everyone.
That's really interesting, Nusaiba. Thank you for making those suggestions there and for giving us your insight into the creative arts, but also to help us better appreciate it, which you're clearly working very hard on. A really passionate response there from Nusaiba regarding the role of faith-based creative arts in our future. And thank you very much for bringing this topic to the U-Suite today. I look forward to seeing what else you'll be doing in this field with great anticipation. We now move on to the final segment of the show, and this is called 60 Seconds. This is a light-hearted but fast-paced quiz where I throw quick-fire questions to my guest about their favourite things, and they need to answer as many as possible within 1 minute. So Nusaiba, if you get stuck on any questions, just say pass and I'll move on to the next question straight away. So let's test that creative mind of yours, shall we? How does that all sound to you? Are you ready for this?
What do I get if I get them all right?
Well, you need to answer more than 12 questions correctly. 12 is the high score set by Ubaid Sajid. If you can beat that, then you will earn respect from the masses. How about that? Right, let's get started. Your 60 seconds starts now. Favourite games console?
Pass.
Favourite number?
5.
Favourite fruit?
Banana.
Favourite season?
Summer.
Favourite day of the week?
Friday.
Favourite planet?
Earth.
Favourite social media channel?
Instagram.
Favourite vegetable?
Pass.
Favourite smartphone?
iPhone.
Favourite TV show?
Oh, that's tough. Pass.
Favourite tree?
Favourite tree?
Yep.
Oh, pass.
Favourite movie?
Favourite movie? Baby's Day Out.
Favourite book?
Oh, that's tough. Pass.
Favourite park?
Pass.
Favourite school subject?
Oh!
Time's up.
Oh my god.
How did you think that went, Nusaiba?
Yeah, really good, I think. I don't know. How do you think it went?
I'm asking you. You answered the questions.
These are tough questions because TV series, I have so many. I mean, I think all of us are going through that now during the pandemic. We're just binging and like I've just got too many books, too many. Tree, I don't know actually. That one I actually don't know because I'm not really that into plants. That's a hard one.
Sure.
I was saying that we need to do a quick fire question session with you and let's see how many you get right.
Well, you start a podcast, set up a quiz, let me know, and we'll take it from there, okay?
Okay, yeah, fair. Okay.
Anyway, a decent effort from you, Nusaiba. You answered 8 questions correctly, and you passed on 6. That puts you in 3rd place on the 60 seconds leaderboard. Ubaid Surgeon from episode 2, he remains at the top of the table with 12 points. Shuhal Ahmed from episode 1 also remains in 2nd place with 10 points. And Ubaid, if you're listening right now, you can rest easy. Well, at least for the time being. And on that note, we have come to the end of the show. Many thanks to Nusaiba Mohammad Timol for joining me at the Youth Suite today. It's been great to learn more about your work in the creative arts and modest fashion. We've had a super discussion talking about the role of faith-based creative arts in our future. Before you go though, any final words from yourself?
Thank you so much for organising this. I hope that whoever's listening takes something away from this. Just keep focused, keep happy, and hopefully everyone comes out of this pandemic and comes out of whatever struggles you're going through and, you know, you have a positive outcome at the end. And I think one thing I missed out is the reason why it's spelled W-A-W is because it stands for who are we, and also the letter wow in Arabic.
Ah, that's interesting. So there's a double meaning too. I'm surprised you didn't bring that up earlier, Nusaiba. The number of times you've mentioned wow throughout this episode. But well done for slipping that in right at the very end. And once again, thank you very much indeed. That was Nusaiba Mohammad Timol, the founder and director of the WOW Creative Arts School from London. If you'd like to be a guest on the Youth Suite, get in touch. Drop us an email at youthsuite@outlook.com. Youth Suite is free to listen to and available on any app that supports podcasts such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also find Youth Suite on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Make sure to like, follow and subscribe so you can stay on top of all future episodes and receive the latest updates about this podcast series. Don't forget to spread the word and tell your family, your friends, everyone. Your support means everything. Join me again for the next episode from the Youth Suite. Until then, I've been Ibrahim Rahman. Thanks for listening. Keep well and stay safe. It's goodbye for now.